All right, we've got a tier list, and this is for global. So, global, you are finally getting some love from my channel, and we're going to be ranking all the units pre-anniversary. So, this counts up to yellow Kaido, and everyone after that's going to be on the tier list that's going to come out probably May 1st, or whenever we get the anniversary info. I'm going to be adding Domain Gojo, Sukuna, Zonji, and Miguel. Those are the 4 units that should be anniversary times. So I'm going to make another tier list then. And things are going to change because I'm probably also going to add the SP boosts finally for global. And look how many units we have left. We are catching up at a very rapid rate. And I could say by November, which I feel like November, but it could even be earlier that we should catch up. I feel like they'll go slower after anniversary though, but you guys let me know your thoughts on that. Now, these are the units we're ranking today. I'm leaving these units out. I might be missing someone if I'm being honest, but I don't, like, there's no one. Oh, Ichichi. No, I have to rank Ichichi. Shit, that's true. Besides that, I think, oh, Panda too. Okay, yeah, I kind of forgot those two. So, these are the units. Now, we're gonna just say this right now. It's a tower only. It's not ranked in order. So, the ranks, like, if like, red, like, okay, hold on, Tinjo and Blue Joe, if Blue Gojo's in front, it does not mean Blue Gojo's better. All right, we're not doing that in this video. All right, no, none of that. So essentially, SS are the ones that could perform at the best. All right, best of the best, literally cannot perform better. S, they might have some flaws or just might not be up to par with the ones above them, but could still do good. A, are usable, but definitely not the best. B, are things I would not recommend, have a lot of flaws. And C, are just outright bad. All right, S to A are all really good ranks. Like, even in A, you're still able to use these units. I want to make that clear. And with that, let's get into it. All right, here we go. We're going to start with the niche tier, and I'm just going to rapid fire for this because I do not think it's that important. So we got Panda with his taunt. All right, we got Miwa with the counter taunts, right? We got the red Miwa. Then we got Shoko with the heals. And then we got Toto, who's able to give the buddy friend thingy with Confusion State, I believe. Then we got SR Saki, which I think she has the taunt. I just want to double check that because I'm not fully sure with her. I do not use her, but she does have a 2-turn taunt for 10 cursed energy. Is insane. Guys, 10 cursed energy for that is insane. All right, so that's one very good strat. There's Kaido with his attack immunity wherever SR Kaido is. I cannot find them. There's too many units here. Let me, okay, great. Good thing I found them. There we go. And then after SR Kaido, Panda again. And then Hanami. I mean, you could rank Hanami, but I think she is the best in the stall category here. But overall, it's mainly for stalls, so I'm not going to rank her separately from that. Whoops. I'm not going to rank her separately from that just because she's like a much better unit than the rest. So that's it. Now, here we go. So we're going to go bottom up. All right. That's how we're going to go for this one. So starting off, we got Toto, who did, I believe, get a buff, but honestly, it's not really looking that good for him, if I'm being honest. Yeah, not really. I mean, listen, his buff is all right. It gave him extra Takata-chan guidances, I think. But that's all right, I guess, especially with the passive. Oh, wait, he didn't get the passive I thought he did. Yeah, no, it's not really that good. His ult did get stronger because it up to 60% damage and taijutsu, which is great, especially alongside a guaranteed crit. But overall, I don't know. He's either in C or B right now. I haven't really tested him out too much, but I would say that's about where he'd land. If you want to put him a bit high, honestly, like, this is one of the units that is, like, shrouded in a bit of mystery. Now, what I would say is he has like a 40% taijutsu buff here. It's just not enough because you have one buff and then afterwards 60% for both if you're able to, well, to have everything, right? And that's kind of it. I think him being taijutsu also doesn't help. He's not like the worst unit and he's usable. Like, any unit on this list is usable, but meh. And then Inumaki, I just don't like him. I think his revives are really not that good. Doesn't really have that many good support for the type of playstyle that is encouraged. So that's kind of it. Red Maki is getting there. She's going to be on her way to A tier. But with just the buffs she got right now, remember, we are counting the set of buffs. Not the SP buffs, the normal buffs. So it was a bit better. I mean, like, her skill 1 got a bit stronger, but that only matters later on. Her skill 2 is like definitely like whatever. I mean, like, okay, I don't think it's supposed to be 1 turn. Oh no, it's decreases. Never mind. It's just like, okay, cool, you do double the damage but you have the cooldown. That's cool, I guess. I'm just like, her shit was not really buffed that much, so I would not say she's that crazy. This is I guess this is all right. especially alongside this. But if, I mean, 4 enemies with 120% damage increase is definitely good. It's much better than before. Because what? Yeah. I mean, we don't know how much it said. It's just her damage won't be that stellar, I'd say. Mechamaru is close to greatness, but he doesn't have the taunt yet, I think. I think he doesn't. Yeah, because I'm pretty sure it's on the SP boost. It's either that or the counter. So, yeah, he does not have the taunt, which is unfortunate. So when he gets the taunt, he'll be better. And then we got Saki. I mean, she's too much of an RNG unit. Okay, basically, she revolves around being low health. And then afterwards, when she's hit all those times, then she gets increased damage. It's just like a bit too much RNG to be able to be hit, right? Also, because she has a lot of damage reduction and shit. It's just a little too specific for me. I mean, like, you could go up to A tier, but she's on the cusp, bro. She's on the cusp. Now then, let's go into A tier. Green Yuji is very good. He's missing a couple things, but being able to get your ult quick, having good black flash rate, and then good buffs without having to do much is nice. He's able to get his crits, his black flashes, and then his ult's able to do good damage. It's very decent. His skill 3 also is able to do decent damage, but he really needs that SP buff to shine. Now, Junpei is actually quite a good unit to be able to damage lower. So that's his main utility, and it's his skill 1. So early game, you might be like, oh, he sucks. But then afterwards, once you get later on, especially once we do approach the 51 to 60 floors, which is not counted in this. Remember, tower 150. He still has the utility of Jujutsu lowering for 32%, right? It's huge. It's huge. So that you're able to do, and it's going to be up to 90% on the enemy at all times. So if it's a Jujutsu enemy, you could definitely make use of that. Now, Red Nanami is a lot lower, and the reason is because of a couple things. Number one, damage buffs are just not that good. The reason is because of how multiplicative buffs work. Buffs for stats and debuffs for stats are multiplicative. Buffs for damage and buffs for debuffs for damage increase are additive. So a damage buff is not that good, especially when it's a lot lower, when you also compare it to someone like Degumu, who's giving 350%, and then when Gojo is giving 300%. So it's like damage buffer units have lower value because their buffs are not going to be as valued in a optimal team comp, essentially. So he's not giving as much damage buffs as we'd like, essentially. And even compared to Momo, no survivability and a pretty weak ult in comparison, right? So that's it. Now, next up, we got Blue Maki. She is a very good unit, actually. I do like her. Being able to clear floor 48 kind of puts her in that range because obviously they have a Jujutsu damage lower, so she's able to make quick work of floor 48 as she's a Taijutsu unit, and she's still pretty good even out of that lens. Now, Nobara's in A tier, and obviously we know where she ends up later on. Now, the main reason is because of the fact that her skill 3 is, like, first of all, quite expensive, and the main reason why that matters is because of the fact that you can't use this twice. So what I mean by that is sometimes what you would do, and this is very huge, I want to make it known, is like you get your stacks of nails, you use the skill 3, and then you'll ult and then use the skill 3 again with the SP buff. But since you cannot do that twice in a row because it's 50 before the SP buff, it's just not as good. Because what you would have to do is use your like abilities to get the nails up, then you use your ult and then you skill 3, right? Which is great, but it would be a lot better if you're able to use the skill 3 twice, which afterwards you're able, because depending on your nail counts, it's actually going to cost a different amount, and not having it cost 50 twice in a row is going to be a lot better. All right, you can check out my Nobara showcase to see how that works, but it works a lot better when it doesn't cost 50 cursed energy, but she still does good damage. Like right now, she's probably able to pump out a solid like 10 to 15 mil on that skill 3 with a perfect rotation. But it's just it's just not like consistent enough. If you put her in S, I wouldn't even be mad, but that's not where I have her. Now, Yellow Nobara is still pretty decent. I mean, with SP buffs, I think you could get her in S tier, but right now she's a decent unit. Like her ult's able to do pretty good, has a pretty decent damage increase, right? And then her skill 3 is also decent enough, so it's like she's able to do good stuff, I guess, right? Don't have the craziest thoughts about her. Now, Nanami is actually able to help a lot with AoE floors, so Green Nanami actually does get his role right here. He's able to do good AoE damage, has some good break damage, and I just like him in general for that. Now, next up, we do have Jogo. So Jogoat, right, is absolutely phenomenal. And the main reason why he's quote-unquote low is also because his damage in tower is going to be a bit lower when there's more than one enemy. Because essentially, this skill 3 is in fact... Sorry, this skill 3 is in fact a 600% skill 3 because it's times 3. So it's 191 on a random enemy and you do that 3 times. So in total that's 191 times 3, which is about 600%. But if you're in tower, it might end up targeting the mini enemies and you don't really want that, right? So for single target, he is very good. For single target, he's in S tier. But because of the variables, he's in A tier. But that's why with sweep counted for and single target units counted for, and also because 5160 has a lot of single targets, he's in SS without a doubt, right? But that's with SP buffs. That's with 2 extra sets of buffs that Global does not have. So that's kind of where he's at. Now, Blue Megumi, I honestly, like, I'm thinking of putting him in B. I would like to review his kit one more time, but I feel like B is a decent spot for him. Now, the main reason is because his ult is pretty good. He has good break damage, and he also does have where well, okay, so he gets the damage reduction, which is actually pretty good, but he has the extra damage when the enemy's in break. And then also, he also has extra ult charge rate, which does play very well. I'm pretty sure he has ult charge rate somewhere else too, but I could be wrong. He has a very nice skill 3 AoE, which I will always take. And then over here, it's a very nice skill 2. So I would say I am pretty content with him in A. Now, next up, we have Kamo. Honestly, Kamo is decent, but I just do not think he's stellar. I think that for S tier, you do need a bit more. So for me, it's just not that good. It's like a very much a worse version of Blue Gojo, right? Not even talking about the stats. Like, his buffs are decent, but it takes 5 turns, first of all, for it to be set up, which if you are using Pride is decent, but a 1300 ult, honestly, I will need to retry it. I don't know. I'm like undecided. Like, he's top of A. If you want to put him in S, honestly, I would not even be mad, but I'm not the biggest fan of putting him in S as of right now. In my personal opinion, is this a bit of intuition? For sure, you could say that, but I would say that he is decent. I mean, well, that's a 40% stat. That's a 25%. That's a, yeah, no, I mean, he's getting good buffs, honestly. Do I want to put him in S? Because, like, now, I don't know, like, I'm looking at it. I'm just gonna stay with A. I'm gonna keep that tentative. This is something, this combo spot actually might change on the next tier list. I will actually try him out before the next tier list. So I'm gonna keep you guys updated on that. Because I got this, like, this was my opinion on him, what I've seen from him, and some gameplay, but I'm gonna get some hands-on experience with him. Now, we do have Momo, who is an A tier, and the main reason is because she works phenomenally with buffer units, okay? It's a one-time thing, right? So for units like Yuji's who don't really buff, well, like Red Yuji who don't really buff, it's not really that good, and it is a damage buff, right? Oh, yeah, okay, no, that's good. But it is 68% twice, right? And her ult has a chance to stun, and she dodges, or sorry, that's a skill 3, damn. She has a double stun, which is decent. So, you know, I'd say she's okay. But mainly for buffers because it's a one-time buff. So keep that in mind when you're thinking about her. Now, Nanami. He requires buffer units, but the more buffer units you have, the less multiplicative buffs, and it doesn't really favor you. I mean, this is not bad. It's just that damage increase buffs they're decent, and he also has this, which in total will be an extra, what? Like, it could be an extra 40%, like 30% per turn, I guess. Like, yeah. But it's okay. Like, especially his ult is it's not that high, right? So he's really focusing on the buffs. Now, having the Black Flash thingy is nice. The 200% Black Flash rate increase is nice, but I don't know. He's definitely not that great in terms of damage. No one really finds so yeah. Now, Yuji, I think he has the thing where, like, if you attack multiple times on the same enemy, you get an increased damage. I think that it's up to, like, 60%, or was it, like, 75? I don't know. 55, okay, yeah. So you get that, and then that's also decent ult with that, right? Okay, bro, wait, bro. Okay, no. I also support, right? Yeah. With the support, like, when you combo these two things together, I'm fine putting him in A, but I'm on the cusp of putting him in B, if I'm being honest. It just doesn't look that great to me. But having this stun chance with a decent ult damage is not horrible. Okay, so that's kind of where I'm keeping him for now. All right. Now, next up, we got Red Yuji. Red Yuji's, like, right now, the best Yuji. Absolutely phenomenal unit. His buff is going to be generational, okay? His SP buff is going to be generational. 1500 ult. and then guaranteed Black Flash, which combos into a 40% Taijutsu stat buff for 4 turns. And then his skill 3 gives him Taijutsu, and then he has ult gauge increase with a 1300 ult. And then afterwards, he could also increase crit rate and break, but I don't think this is like, you shouldn't really be doing this. I'd say well, it is 10 curse energy, which is great, but I would say the skill 3 is just way better in terms of max damage. So, you know, popping a Kaido maybe, and then going into this could be an insane rotation. And like, he's able to do like decent damage with this, like a 330%, considering his buffs just keep on rotating in. And then he gets this on his ult, and then it's not just that, it also increases the damage received, which is going to be a nice little multiplicative buff with the Black Flash on this, like 120% Black Flash damage. It's a big W, I would say. Red Yuji's very good. Now Momo, my opinion of her is kind of soured over time, mainly because damage buffs are not as good as like originally thought, as I've already said before. But decent unit, has a good ult, not really much more to say, good survivability. Now, Green Nobara is actually pretty good. Thing is, there's a lot of debuff immunity floors, like I've shown on JP, so it's not like the craziest, especially considering she doesn't really work versus floor 45 because she doesn't have access to any buffs on her kit. She's basically a bare unit that's requiring other units to buff her. But for debuff, non-debuff immunity floors, for floors she can debuff, she is actually very, very good. So that's that. I mean, her nuking damage could be very high. Now, Yellow Nanami is very good, okay? This guy has very good damage overall and is able to work kind of on everything, right? I didn't really say it, but having versatility is also considered. I should have put that in there. Also, but I'm just going to mention it now. Being able to work type disadvantage floors because he does type advantage damage everywhere is very strong for him. And for his utility, that's why Sukuna is ranked #1, because it's not like the damage gap between him and other top DPSs is that big, but due to the fact that he could work on any color floor, he does have that insanely wide gap, and that's something to kind of take note of. Now, next up, we have Red Mai. Now, I just want to make sure Sukuna is doing the most damage in the game. Right, he does have a gap from other DPSs, but it's not that big when you compare it to someone like Zonji, who in like 3 turns could do 50 million, when he's going to do a rather similar amount, maybe a bit more, right? And then Muta too is going to do around that damage, but Sukuna will be doing probably more, especially with the bleed. But it's just we don't get to see the bleed damage. So I just want to make sure, I'm not saying that like the other units, like Sukuna is worse than like I've said. It's more so that like the other units are starting to get really good, right? And Sukuna is very good, but it's his versatility that really helps him put him way above the other units. Just wanted to preface that. Now, Red Mai is very good for a lot of the damage, like actual like attacking units that don't have self buffs, for sure. So the main reason is because of how many times you could actually get that off, and in 1 turn you could get up to like a 20% damage increase, which in total you could get to close to like 300%, which is absolutely huge. Like, she is very good. It's just she does not have the same survivability as someone like Degumi because no attack immunity, obviously, and obviously it is also RNG to a certain extent. Well, obviously when you're in ult, not really, but you know, outside of it, for sure, I would say she's really good. Like, she's on the cusp of SS, but I cannot in good faith put her in SS. She does not have the survivability. You've seen before in my videos that she has died, so it's not really, you know, the craziest unit ever, but still very good, very good. Now, we like survivability is very important in tower. Just want to make sure that's known. Now, here we go. So Green Maki, I think, also has a very good groundwork for actually, well, what's it called, for the buff, right? Because her ult is 1000%. If they bring that up, it's huge, especially because of this. She gets another 150% here, and then more than that, she has these extra buffs, and then she has this buff, right, up to 30% if it's single target. So that's very nice. And then she's also able to apply a debuff, right? So it's decent. I think what she's missing right now is more self buffs, because 30% and 10% taijutsu stats is definitely not enough. Now, sure, you have this damage increase, but that's like, okay, I mean, I just want a bit more buffs and she'd be better, but her damage is definitely solid. Now, next up, Kaido. Fumble. Especially after Yellow Yaga, this guy's way worse. Main reason is because half of his kit works with half the units, half doesn't. So for Tinjo, his ult is decent, right? It's what, 140%? It's pretty good. Yaga still gives more, so what's the point? Now you get the cursed energy, but it's very but wait guys. The cursed energy is fucking difficult to actually achieve for him. So yeah, no. Because you have to be above 30 cursed energy, and then it only gives 5 per turn. Just want to make sure that's known. This costs 25 because then also reduces cursed energy by 5. So just want to say that. And then this, you have to be above 30, and then you give cursed energy. So it's like, oh, you have to be above, you have to be below, but you have to be above, but you have to be below. No, it doesn't work. His damage increase is okay. That's why he's an S, but it's not crazy. Inumaki, very good debuffer. Any stat debuffer is amazing. So Green Ghetto, Blue Inumaki, very good. This guy's pretty good. Can have CE problems, but his damage is fucking incredible. You've seen, I'm just referencing for his damage, like you've seen sweep runs where he could do like 15 to 20 million in the 17 turns, which is really, really good for him. Really, really good. So definitely he is worthy of his placement here. Now, honestly, Red Inumaki, I'll put him here. He is also very good. I'm not going to say he's like anything crazy, but he definitely has some good, not stalling capabilities, but he could be like the, kind of just the person you sack off, right? You let him die right away after you get some extra alt gauge in, and it works, so he's definitely pretty good. And for stall teams, he's good, but because he has other actual utility, he's an S instead of in the niche role. So I think that kind of calls it for S. I'm undecided between S and SS for Kaido, but I'm going to probably put him in SS. And, oh, I forgot these two. So this is also a niche. And here we could put him in, I'd say like A tier. Because he does give actually, hold on, no, I think it's going to be more in B tier. I just want to check it out. Hold on. I honestly, I remember he gives some good stuff. So he's able to give Taijutsu for 2 turns, but it's only 38%. So it's not really that crazy. So yeah, he's in B tier. Like, he's usable for Taijutsu units. But like, you have Yaga, so, you know, he's not really that good. All right, so I went to the gym, actually. I paused the video, but we're back. So yeah, I don't know what I was saying, but Inumaki is pretty good. So now we're going to go on to SS. I mean, listen, the rest of the units are SS. So I'm just going to say it as it is. We could do the most obvious ones. Degumi, like, okay, listen. He is just, like, really good. Okay, I mean, he damage lowers, which is amazing. Survivability increase for the whole team. Cannot take damage and alt. Can stun. And best damage increase in the game. Higher than Domain Gojo, but of course, single target. Of course, it's less good for some units like Zonji, who does damage over 3 turns because he has alt and then 2 turns of big damage. So he might lose like 5 to 10 million damage because it doesn't work well for every turn being optimal damage, right? But you can do good. But from what we've seen, from what we've actually tested, Domain Gojo performs better. Just yeah, since Domain Gojo is about to come out, we're gonna put it into context, of course. Now, Toji's great. Absolutely amazing. Buff removal is good, but it becomes even better in like 3 weeks when we get tower floors. Ult damage is good, has good skill damage, and has some survivability. Love to see it. Ghetto helps the team versus Taijutsu floors, lowers their damage with a Jujutsu DPS. Let's see, how many Jujutsu DPSs? Oh, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Well, himself, right? 6. 7, right? Like, 8, 9, wait, 10, right? So, you know, there's a lot of Jujutsu DPSs, and he could do sub DPS damage insanely well. So, you know, there's that. Sukuna, whoa, why am I doing Sukuna? We are doing a global tier list today. Hold on. Gaku Ganji. Now, why is he good? Because there's no one that doesn't like him. That's kind of it. He works for every single color, right? Which is pretty important, right? But he's gonna give one of the highest stat debuffs in the game, right? There's not many people who do it, and he does it very well, and it's AoE, so we love to see it. He's a very good unit for that. It's one of 3 units. 4, one of 4 units. Ghetto, it's only Jujutsu though, but it's Blue Ghetto, Green Ghetto, Gaku Ganji, and Blue Inumaki, and then later on Red Inumaki, but he's not, and Red Yaga, but you know, mono units. So it's basically Gaku Ganji and Ghetto are the only ones who do it off of mono, sorry. So Yellow Yaga is really good. Even off of mono, he works well, and his on mono damage support is just incredible. Amazing unit. Red Yaga, one of the best buffers in the game. Literally the only better stat buffer than him is Shoko. That's the only better stat buffer than him. Insane stuff. Yaga actually does more stat buffing than Shoko, but Shoko also debuffs for an extra 30%. So that's what gives her the edge with obviously the heal and the alt gauge support. But Yaga still holds his crown, especially because his ult is very good for lowering damage, increasing your damage still while being able to give ult gauge for the whole team, which in sweep later on, and you could maybe get used in some tower floors, is very important. You'll see sometimes I combo Gaku Ganji Yaga, and then you get your domain Gojo ult much quicker. That could also be for Degumi, right? Great stuff. Green Ghetto, very good unit, amazing for green, actually does good sub DPS damage. Love him, absolutely love him. Utah, amazing nuker. Amazing nuker, could heal. Unfortunately, his survivability capabilities can be a bit low, but it's fine. He's fine. For right now, the content especially, he's SS. But overall, he is not having any problems. His damage is good, especially with the buff. Extra damage, especially if he black flashes. So go Utah. Then Tinjo cannot die, basically. Taunts. Has some damage lowering capabilities and has a good ult. Very good ult, can stack pride. Mahito is going in SS. No matter what the wiki tier list says, he is worthy of SS. And the main reason is just because he could just clear anything, right? That's the main thing. It's how easy could you clear with Mahito, and like if you could do it, then I'm fine with putting him in SS. That's it. That's kind of it. Now Blue Gojo is in SS. But don't worry, when the bottom units come out on JP, like we might have to add an S+, I'm not sure. But Blue Gojo is for now still in SS. There's like not many other blue DPSs to do it, you know? So he's still there, he's still kicking. Green Megumi, peak unit, best sub DPS in the game, probably. No, pretty much guaranteed while supporting. But his damage, like you could do some like 700k follow-ups. Remember, follow-ups are if other people attack, and that's a fucking follow-up, and he's just like able to throw that out. Amazing stuff. His ult gauge, being able to get his ult quicker, sharing damage with the dogs, being able to do good damage with the follow-up, having good ult damage, amazing unit, especially when comboed with Team Ghetto. Then Hollow Purple, the nuker in the game, the nuker, all right? For one-turn nuke, I do not think there's higher in the game. The problem is he leaves right after he ults, so... you know, obviously that's why Muta's better and why Sukuna is better, but he has the highest one-turn nuke, I believe, in the game right now. That's because he has a 2000% ult and very high stats with Pride. It just goes very well together, like very fucking well. And then Kaido, he is good. I was going to put him in S, but I think he's worthy of SS. The reason is because he gives CE, he could give CE, have the taunt on him, die, leave, and then have someone else come in, and then every support has the CE needed to kind of get the rotations going, and I think it's just something I cannot dismiss. So still a very good unit. And this is the tier list, all right? Remember, not ranked in order, only counting tower 1 to 50. And then this is niche roles, like I explained, and then of course this is Annie onward. So remember, for this, like for example, I'm not counting it, like versatility matters for DPS, not for support. If a support is a mono support, I'm fine with that. Like, of course, like Blue Inumaki might be like, yeah, I mean, like if I was really being stingy, he might be even lower. But the thing is, on blue, he is absolutely incredible, and that's what matters for these mono supports, is are you really good on your mono team? If so, you're good. You get the pass for S or SS. Let me know what you disagree with. I think that is the most important part to all these tier lists. Thank you for watching the video, and we're gonna have a very fun tier list next time when I add the SP buffs also. That's gonna be really great. Thank you for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.